welcome to our session. Word for academics, guys. This is not only for academics per se, but if you're busy writing your bibliography, your memoirs, if you're writing any book, if you're writing a manual, this will help you a lot. I'm just gonna start sharing my screen so you guys can see what I'm up to. So I'm gonna start off from a point where, you know, I normally start off with, you know, it's a totally raw document. It's some text layout, but it's not that good. Okay, so I'm just gonna hide you guys and put you over there. So first of all, as you can see, I've got this document. I like to have my navigational bar open on the side, and for those who do not know, it was new year. I just went to view and I switch on my navigation pane, and this is where I can see them all. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a table of contents. Now, the table of contents works specifically with your styles or even with outlines, but I prefer to use the styles because with styles, you're kind of killing two birds with a brick, and I'll explain to you guys why. So as you can see, it's kind of formatted text. This is how I normally build my manuals and stuff. And as you can see, my headings are not that good. So I'm going to start with building styles for it. Now, guys, the purpose of what a style is basically a predefined text format for a specific piece of text on your document. So instead of reinventing the wheel, you're just going to rinse and repeat the same style. So first of all, I want to make a style for my different headings. But these headings I'm going to start with because I built my document in sections. And in sections, I've got my different headings per section and subheadings per those headings. So you guys will catch my drift. So first of all, I'm going to my Home tab button. And in my ribbon, I'm going to select my styles pane. So you'll see that there's my styles pane. I'm just going to make my screen a little bit bigger. So, and I'm going to decrease my document so you can at least see the whole document coming in. So first of all, I'm going to select my first header, right? And when I select it, you will see under my styles pane, it actually points out what the current style is. So it's set on normal. Okay, everybody's silent. Okay, cool. Apologies for that. So now, first of all, what I've highlighted my text, and what I'm going to do is it specifies that's on normal text. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it 18 point, and I'm going to make it bold. So after I've done that, you will see that it's changed the under my style. Now I want to keep that as a current style. So what I'm going to do is just move my mouse pointer to on that line, and it's got a drop down arrow. If I click on it, it gives me either to create a new style, modify the current style, or so on. I don't want to modify the current style because there are certain text that is written with that normal style. So I'm going to make it a new style, and I'm going to call this style section head. Yeah, we call it section header. Now in here, I can actually go and change my font. I can do the same things as what I've done on my home ribbon button, but I'm going to keep it the way it is, and I'll just click on OK. Now you will see that it's created a new style called my section header. Now as I go down my document, I can see that there are other headings as well, but now this is a header that I want to fall under my section header. So I'm just going to highlight that, and I'm going to, again, you can see it's normal style. I'm going to change the text with that. I'm going to make it 16 point this time and make it bold again. And let's make it italics. Okay. So now after I've done that, I can do the same thing, new style. This time around, I'm going to keep it the style and call it just header. Okay, because that's going to be my main header. Okay, you can see this already it knows that, so I'm going to make it header. Let me call it main header. Okay, so that should work. So now I've got my main header, my section header, and now every time when I come to my main headers, I can just go and apply I'm putting that in as my main header. The same with this one as well. So you can see that I'm actually just don't need to go every time and change my text and so on. I can just highlight that and choose my header. Now this is a sectional header. I'll choose that one as my sectional header, and I'll go further down and I'll choose that one as my main header, and so on. I'm just going to choose a couple of them for now, just to bring my point across. Application. So guys, this is something that I would recommend you do when you're planning your document, right? You don't want to do this when you have completed your document. As you can see, then it creates a little bit of double work. And as you do, you know you've got your headers. You can just type in and select your style, and this one will basically have it in there already. So yeah, I'm gonna make this as my sectional header, and so on. And under my navigation, that is going to be my sectional header as well, and this is going to be my main header, and I can just follow through and highlight that and make that my. So now I've got basically all of my headers selected. This last one, I'm just going to make that also a sectional header. Now I've got all of my headers laid out, right? So my document is complete with my headers, but now I need to create my table of contents. So now to create my table of contents, I go to my reference tab, and in my ribbon, I go to my table of contents. So you're going to click on the arrow next to the table of contents, and it's going to give you these different options, right? And I'm going to go to custom table of contents. Now guys, sorry, I kind of jumped the gun because you have to place your table of contents somewhere, right? And normally your table of contents is going to be at the top of your document. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight to the top of my document, which I'm on at the moment. Just going to put it right at the top. If you don't have it, you can just hit enter to make that space. And I'm going to go to my layout and just put in a break. So I'm going to go and make it I'm going to make it a sectional break, but you can make it a page break too. So that you can see there's the top of my page. I'm going to hit a few times enter. And at the top, I'm going to put in a little sentence there and just call it table of contents. Right, just make it a bit bigger and bold it. There we go. Maybe slightly bigger. That's better. And now what I'm going to do is go back to my reference, table of contents. And under my table of contents, I'm going to go custom table contents. I'm not going to choose these ones for now. Go to custom table contents or bring up this window. Now under this window, I've got the different styles in terms of how I want to show my table of contents. Kind of like the from template, that option there that's got a little dotted line with the number of the page. And yeah, I can go to modify to bring up more styles and so on to modify it further. But under my options, this is where I'm going to select it. So guys, as you could see, it takes all the predefined styles that I have in my styles drawer. But you can also use the outline level. So now I'm just going to untick the outline levels for this one now. And I'm going to scroll down. As you can see there, it gives me the heading 1 and 2 and 3. Those I didn't actually use in my document, so I'm going to delete them. Okay. So if I go further down, you'll see that, oh, there's the ones that I've used. There's my my section header, and there's my main header. Those are the ones that I've actually created. So on my section header, I'm going to put in a 1, and I'll explain to you guys what that 1 means. And on my main header, I'm also going to add in 1. Okay, so now I'm click on OK, and there you can see that it comes up in that fashion. And I'm just going to click on OK. And you can see now it automatically folds it up and shows me my table of contents. But now, guys, the whole purpose of this was I actually wanted them to fall in under each other, like indented, because my section header must be like indented and show at the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my table of contents, go to custom table contents again, and this time around under my options, I'm not going to make my, so I'm going to go down, I'm going to delete that 1, 2, 3 again, because those are the styles that I wasn't using. So I'm going to go down again, and I'm under my section header, I'm going to make this 1, but under my main header, I'm going to make this level 2. Okay, so that's the levels. I'm going to go OK again, and then I'm just going to click on OK, and this is now replace the table of its contents. Yes, and you can see now it's been indented, as those are the ones that falls under the others. Okay, so that is how you can work with your table of contents. The reason I'm saying planning the document and working with your styles as you build your document, whether it is a book or a manual or a project that you're working on, then you can at any time, if you want to make changes or add in another one, it's fairly easy. Because say for instance, I now go back into a document and I need to add in another header, right? Then you can just, like for instance, I noticed that this one didn't come up. So I'm just gonna highlight this to see. Okay, the TC didn't take it into account. That's fine. I can just go and say section header, right? Now it's taken me, as you can see, my table of contents is not there. I've selected it, so now this time around, I'm just gonna go and to my table of contents, because I've added it now to my section header, and I'm just gonna go to into my table of contents section, update table. I'm gonna say update entire table, not only the page numbers. And now once I've done that, you can see it's now at the top. Cool, so that is how we can do our table of contents. Moving on to the next part of our document, and this is now inserting a footnote and an endnote. Now guys, a footnote is adding in additional text that was cited on your document that must fall on the same page. So text that is cited that will fall on the same page, that is what, or at the bottom of the page of the text that you've cited. Let me get my terminologies right. So that is a footnote. An endnote is text that you have cited will fall at the end of the document. Okay. So this is how it works. So say for instance, I want to add in an endnote under my menu bar, right? And I will put my my blinking insertion pointer at my menu bar. I will go to insert footnote, and you will see it will add in a little one as a superscript there, right? And at the bottom of your page, it will just below your footer, it will add in that same number as what you use for your superscript, and now you can just type in what that footnote is. So I will just say this is my first footnote. Okay, so you can make that anything to indicate what that little word is all about, to put more emphasis on it. Now I can go further. Now it will automatically just add in the number as you go in. So I can add in another footnote, and it will just make it number 2 and automatically add it to the bottom of your page. And this is my second footnote. Okay. Now coming to endnote. So I want to put the endnote totally on my interface, on my main header. So if I click on insert endnote, but just be careful with this, because if you put in an endnote, what it will do is it will put it right at the bottom of your document. And I like to actually have this in such a way where I can have it separated because remember, so especially if you want to put in indexing and you want to put in your bibliography and so on, and you have space to build that as well, because beyond your endnote, you cannot build anything extra. Just keep that in mind. So now if I go to get to the end of my document, it's Command FN and right arrow. So now I'm at the end of my document. And all I do is I'm going to, again, go to my layout, break, and I'm going to do a section break, next page. Actually I'm going to be like, well, I'll maybe do another one for my bibliography as well as my index. Okay, so at the bottom, I'm now going to add in my my endnote. So I'm going to go again to the top, which is FN command left arrow, which will take you right to the top of your page. So yeah, I'm going to go into my top sentence or my section header, and I'm going to go to my reference, under footnotes, insert endnote, and then I can just, as you can see, it's right at the bottom of my document. This is the last page. You can see on the side. That's why it's good to have your navigation open so you can actually see what's happening on that side. So this is my endnote. Okay. And to navigate through your notes, you can just click on Show Notes, which will show you your different notes, and it will jump from one note to the next. And you can just go to Next Footnote, and you can see it highlights all the footnotes that I have. So that is basically how you can navigate between the two and insert your footnote and endnotes. Very easy. Let's go to the next section, which is doing your citations and for your bibliography. When it comes to adding your bibliography, you first need to do your citations, right? So yeah, if I'm just going to take this sentence here. So I'm putting my insertion point at the end of my sentence. I go to inserting my citations. Now, what I always know, educators like to use a specific format when it comes to the bibliography. So yeah, you've got your APA. If you click on drop-down arrow, you've got the Chicago style. And I know common one is the Harvard style, which people normally use. People who studying psychology or so on, they like to use the APA one. But these are the different styles that you have that's built into Word. So I'm just going to select the Harvard one for now. I'm going to click on Insert Citation. Now, guys, check this out. If you click on Insert Citation, it will open another panel. Okay, and here it gives you different sources in terms of where you got your information from. So there's book section, article, journal, websites, even film and interviews, so you can even put that in as well. So I'm going to start with adding a book. Okay, and the book that first of all, the author. I know my author. I can just type in the author name. Alternatively, I can go to edit and add in the names and the surnames in there. This will build a library of the authors as well. So I go Treyer, and I'm just going to go with Andrew Kronenberg. Okay. So, and the title of the book was Support Essentials for Mac OS 10.50. And the city is in California. Publisher is Pearson. Year is 2019. And edition is, I think it's now it's the first edition, second edition. Let's just make it second edition. Cool. So now I've got that one, all good and well. Say okay. It puts it in. So so yeah, if I click on it, I can actually show it in a different way. I can go to edit the citation. I can say I want to see the author, or I want to see only the title. Then if I tick those to suppress those, then it will not show anything for that. If I go to edit citation again and I want to only see the author, then, or I want to see the year, then it will only show the year. So this is how you can manipulate it in terms of how you want to show these things. I'm just going to untick everything. Cool. So now I can build another citation, but before I build another citation, I'm just going to click on the citations button, which will show me, and you can see it's added another panel on the right hand side and shows me all of my different citations. So now I can go and add in another citation. Let me add in one here, and I'm going to insert citation again, and this time around I'm going to go with website. So this website was from a guy, Don McAllister, and his website name is Screencast Online. The URL is www.screencastonline.com. The year of his website is 2012. Yeah, access was 2016. Month access, we make it June, and day 1. Cool. And okay. And it puts that in. So now after I've done all of that, right, I can now go and here you can see your different citations that you have, your style that you've selected. So I can go to the bottom of my document again, if in command right arrow, right to the bottom, and here maybe under the section, I'm going to put in my bibliography. So now I just go to the, after I've added in my citations, click on bibliography, and you can say works cited or bibliography, and that will automatically populate it. And yeah, you can, it's on top of each other now. It's fine. I can just change my paragraph style to say, look, I want to maybe make it 1.5 character spacing. Makes it more nicer. So you're building an automated function on your document, so you don't need to manually type these things in every time. You just put in your citation, and you just so if, in other words, if I now put in another citation, we go in here and insert citation. Let me go with film. Title of the film is Steve Jobs. Let's just say it's Jobs. Let me go with, I'm just going to make the director Angela Martin. And South Africa. And production company is a Productions. And yeah, 2016. Cool. So now that I've added that in, all I do is at the bottom of my bibliography, I just update it by go to onto the name, to the top, update citations and bibliography, and it will automatically add that in as well. Again, then you just need to change your cosmetics on it. Cool. So that is how to insert the bibliography. Now let's look at the next part of our document, and that is now adding indexes. So again, back to reference. Now when it comes to, oh guys, before we go into indexes, this is also another cool feature that wasn't with, I think it was introduced in Office 2016, but I only discovered it in 2019. And this is to add in captions. So as you can see, I've got a lot of images on my document, and back in the days, you had to manually add in your own caption by clicking on the insert button, go to text box, drag in your text box, type it in. Hopefully it's not going to throw it out, change your text wrapping, and omission. Here you can just go to reference, insert caption, and here it comes up with a label. Oh, sorry, let me first select my image, insert caption. It comes up with figure 1. I'm just going to make it figure 1. Mac OS, Mac OS, Mojave. Okay, and change the label if I wanted to. I can make a table if it's a table, equation if it's an equation. I could change the label to say it mustn't be figure, it must be picture. Okay, so let's change it to picture. Below the item or above the item, you can change the format, the numbering, and how it must come in Roman numerals, not 1, 2, 3, and so on. And click on OK. And it will automatically just put in my caption. And so it will go on. So if you go to the next one and you add in a caption, it will actually make it picture 2 or figure 2. So it keeps it in memory in terms of what you're doing. So it makes it just much easier. Okay. Coming to indexes. Now, this can become a headache for some people, because I've worked with a client who built his own index and it took him almost a good couple of days to complete this project. But I'm going to show you guys how to build a quick index. Okay. So first of all, your index, you need to mark your entries for your document to be able to build your index. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start building my index with some words, you know, in my document. I'm going to start with menu bar. So now I first select the word and I go to mark entry. Now you'll see it's marking the entry for menu bar. Gives me the option to do a sub entry as well. And I'm going to explain to you guys how that works. And I can cross reference it. Now cross referencing is, say for instance, you select, let me go with, so you're saying, let me think of something. Let me think of, yeah, so you're saying food, and you're saying curry, right? So you can say that curry is a reference to food, so you can cross-reference it with something else, or something that is similar, but it's got a different word, okay, but similar meaning, something like that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose menu bar. It's current page, but I'm going to mark all that is that all the menu bars is in my document. So that's marked it, and I'm just going to move this to the side. Let me show you guys something. So here you can see it says menu bar, and it's got a little, sorry, my menu bar, and it's got another word next to it. So this is your code, or the what word text as your index code, and here it says the XE menu bar on with a curly brace. Now what this means is the XE is basically an index entry with that, okay? So it's created the index entry, and here you can see it's where all the menu bars are. It's created the index entry there as well. So now I can keep this window open and I can start doing my entries as I go. Let me go to doc. Okay. So let me highlight the word. And now after I highlight it and I click on this window here, it will automatically change it to doc, and I can just say mark all. Okay, there it's now put in the index entry there as well. So now I can go on and add it again. But now let me show you guys this one. Where I can do sub-entries. Now you've got my Apple menu, right? And you've got all the stuff that is sitting in my Apple menu. And guys, just bear with me because I'm going to quickly do this. I know we're over our time, and then I'm going to complete. It's going to look really nice. So now, first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my About This Mac, right? Because I want this to actually be a sub-entry. So now I've selected it. If I go to the window and I click on it, it will automatically put it on there. But I don't want that to be my main entry. I want actually my main entry to be the Apple menu. So now in my main entry, I type in Apple menu. And my sub entry is going to be my About This Mac. Okay. And I'm just going to copy this so that I can paste it in every time. So I'm going to say mark. I'm not going to say mark all because it's the only window which appears in, okay, for that main entry. So I'm going to say mark. Okay. And you can see there it puts in my index entry. And now I just rinse and repeat with all of the other ones as well. So now I've selected that. again there. I don't want that in. So I delete it, paste my Apple menu, and I type in system preferences. There you go. Cool. And mark. And now I go on, and you can see where that is done it correctly, where it puts in the index entry. So App Store, again, the same thing. I delete that and paste in my Apple menu, which I copied before, and I can just go in and type in App Store. I'm just going to do a few more, guys, so that you can see the effect of it. Mark that as well. And I'm just going to do maybe just the recent items and force quit, so you guys can get the idea of it. So selected it, pops up there, Apple menu, and this is going to be my recent item. So you first select, go to the top, take it out of main entry, and you add it into your sub entry, and what you want as your main entry, you put in at the top. And of course, force quit. And that is that. I'll paste my Apple menu and I type in force quit. Cool. Mark. So now that I've added in my index entries, what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to go to the bottom of my page. I'm going to click on close, and Fn command right arrow, right to the bottom of my page. Actually, I'm going to add in another section break, just to make it on a different page. Layout, break, section break, next page. So now I'm on a new page for my indexes, and I'm first going to type in index. Okay, or uppercase. Just go on Command B to bold it. There we go. And all I do is I just go to my reference, and under my references I say insert index. Now when I click on insert index, it comes up again. You guys would have seen this window when I did my table of contents. So there's my indexing now, and here it gives me the different styles I want to write it, from template, classic, fancy, modern. So they give you all the different options. Formal. I kind of like the formal. And there's indented. I can make it run-ins on top of each other like that. And preferred indented, and write it over 2 columns. My tab leader, I can make it dotted line, dash line, or underscore line. And keep it that way. I can go back to my entries if I want to. The auto mark is if you want to build a concordance. I'm not going to cover that in today's session. So after I've done that, I click on OK, and there you go. There's now my index built. And whenever I add in a new index, guys, I can just go and update my index. Cool. So that is how you can build your indexes, or that's how you can build like automatic functions inside of your document without manually doing all of these features. Okay. One more thing, guys, and I know I'm over my time. Just give me 3 more minutes, and this is very important because I struggled with this for a long time. So one day I made a big mistake with a client, and we had to redo his whole index. So here I had to delete this index. So now when I deleted it, right, and when I went back to his document, I noticed that it didn't delete the table, the index entries. It was still there. So you can go and manually take it out, but he had about 400 pages, and you know how many entries that was. So it would have taken him forever and a day to actually get it. So I stumbled on this one guy who gave a quick lesson on index, and he showed me this. So if you so if you go to view, the navigation pane which is there, you will see there's that magnifying glass. Alternatively, you could have clicked on the magnifying glass on your toolbar. But I'm just going to go here. And now what I'm going to do is the following. So I'm going to go to my find and replace, and type in the circumflex, which is holding down the shift key and 6, and I'm going to type in D, and you will see it will automatically actually select it, but space XE for the index entry. And now it's found it, I just say replace it with blank, okay, and replace all. It now removed all of them. Okay, so that is just, if you want to restart the whole process, you just use that. Something that I wanted to show you guys, just in case you're going to start building your own indexes and making errors. Anyway, so that's my presentation, guys. I'm going to just unshare my screen again and open it for questions.
In your bibliography, there was no, I wanted it in line. So you had a reference which spread over 3 lines. How can you do it in line? Where the one section, it's the name, the title, the publisher, and what goes with that. What you had is there are 3 lines underneath.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work. So I want that all in line.
Let me get back to you with that one, Querbus. I haven't actually, I know that is how Word puts it out, but I'm very sure you can actually either build it in one, like if you would do a table with one cell, you can actually build it in there, but let me play around with that one. That's a good question.
Can I also ask something? With your also in the same bibliography, if you do a split between the book authors, the websites, web and films, that type of split, you need to research.
The sorting, it only sorts it in alphabetical order. That was one of the limitations that I always have with students who wants to have it in that order. It just splits it in alphabetical order. It doesn't split it only films, only books, only that section. I was researching that in 2016 version, and I was hoping that they would change it in 2019, Priscilla. But so far to no avail. Okay, cool. Guys, if there's no other question, I must say thank you very much for attending. Sorry that I kept you a bit too long. I tried to rush the last parts and keep it as informative as possible. But yeah, thanks for bearing with me. And then, guys, all of the best to you. God bless. And yeah, see you Monday.
Thanks very much.
It's a pleasure always.
Thank you.
Sure.